Now, I don't know how many years Shaq has been on TNT. But since Shaq has been on TNT, we have been seeing a sameness going on since he's been there. It's to no surprise, Shaq is the goofy one. But before Shaq was there, they had Chris Webber. And then they tried all 5 guys. They had Shaq, they had Chris Webber, they had Kenny Smith, Ernie ain't going anywhere, and then there's Charles. And they're evaluating who's going to stay between Webber and Shaq. Shaq was more willing to be the fun-loving guy that they all come to know and love. Everybody loves Shaq. He's concerned. Shaq is that guy. How could you not love Shaq? Shaq's gonna make everybody feel better about themselves. That's what he does. He's that big old teddy bear that you just gotta love. But here's the problem. Shaq wanna be a cop. Shaq becomes a cop. They give him a badge. Make him a legal gun carrying, gun owner. Shaq dancing, he gets all the endorsements. He's got lucrative business deals. He's Shaq. But what's funny to me is everybody is saying all the things I said about Shaq in a video I made 2 weeks ago. Today, the whole world is saying the very same words that I've said. Kevin Durant must have watched my video because he said everything that I've said about Shaquille O'Neal when he was sitting over there defending LeBron James. And I made the video saying, you are not in position to defend anybody. You are not in position to talk plays. Only play you had was knock over somebody and dunk a basketball. That was the Shaq play. Now, this thing that he has against JaVale McGee, I was listening to it and I said, man, this guy must have something personal against JaVale McGee. Every time on Shaq and a Fool, he loved to find a reason. It's just like the bully in school. They find that one guy like, oh yeah, this is going to be my guy right here. Whenever I'm having a slow day, he gonna be the butt of my jokes. So naturally, he made JaVale McGee the butt of his jokes. Whenever he had a bad day, he knew he could find anything with JaVale McGee. And JaVale McGee, to his own account, he's not an outstanding player. He's subpar at best. He's never been in the right situation, but off the bench, he could be a great addition because he could crash the boards. He go up hard to slam dunk, not, try to do everything else. But he's not going to be a 6-man of the year kind of player. But JaVale McGee decided to stand his ground after they did the Doctor Strange, the whole thing with Doctor Strange. JaVale McGee and how he's now playing better and this isn't right and like the system was off. I thought that was better than the Shaq and the Fool, but it was just the accumulation effect that has been going on for so long that they're showing him from other teams in the past how bad he was and everything else, and now that he's playing good, it's like, this is not the way. So, this guy's like, man, think about this. He woke up, and I was thinking, the first thing on his mind when he made that video. That ain't weird to y'all? And that's why he was like, man, stick to cooning on your TV show and you know, and keep my, you know what, out of your mouth. Because you've been doing this for 5 to 6 years. And Shaq was like, don't be acting like a G, because I'll smack the S out of your bum, hey. You the one that be looking stupid with your dumb A. And still call him a bum, you know. So with all of these different things taking place, it was going back and forth. I'm not going to sit here and read all the tweets. We are, at this point, everybody knows what it is. But it was becoming a problem with the Golden State Warriors, because they're like, wait a minute, this is getting out of hand. You know, like, why is this going back and forth? And Dub Nation has gotten involved, and once it gets to Dub Nation and everybody else, they're like, look, this is a lot of negativity that we don't allow. And for Shaq to be on TNT, this is not the Shaq they signed up for. You know, this is the Shaq that wears the chicken suits and dance and do all the crazy stuff, and they like it. It's funny for them to see Shaq in a chicken suit dropping his pants. And if you don't know what that video looks like, you can go on my Instagram. You'll see it. But that's what they want to see. They like that Shaq. You know, so they don't want this tough guy Shaq. They want the Shaq they pay the money for. So the Golden State Warriors made a call to TNT, Turner Broadcast, and talked to Shaq's bosses and saying, hey, look, you know, we understand the process of your show and everything else, but enough's enough. You know, well, now it's getting personal when it don't need to be. Shaq was offended when he called him a coon. When Shaq got called a coon, he ain't like it. But when you do cool things, this is what happened. So Kevin Durant got up and basically told the truth. Like, man, look, Shaq, you miss free throws. You know, you miss dunks. You wasn't, you know, you were bigger than everybody on the court. You know, so it was like, what couldn't you do? But still, you know, you didn't play as solid as everybody thought you should. But, hey, you are still a great player, so why talk about McGee? So Shaq just comes right in and just say, look, Kevin Durant, mind your business. This ain't for you. Then he realizes he made a mistake. So he's like, okay, let me not start this with Kevin Durant, because now this is going to be a bigger problem. So he tries to correct himself and comes back. I understand you sticking up for your teammate. That's cool. But your boy JaVale McGee is still a bum. He started it. I'm going to finish it. So that was the last thing before the NBA got involved. Adam Silver, and they have people that get involved and put an end to this stuff. And what's going to happen is athletes are not going to be able to use Twitter no more. You're going to start to see it. You're going to start to see it more and more. You think it's a joke? It's not a joke. And you're going to see players lose control. Because why? All these people get caught up in the social media world and they start acting like children. All of them. They start acting like little kids. And all the stuff that we do on social media, the celebrities, they do the same thing. They do the same thing. And they sit there, they want to look at the retweets, retweet this, retweet. Why is Shaq even involved with anything on Twitter? For what? Most people don't even look at their social media. He is all vested in his social media. This is him. So I'm looking at it like this, y'all. Shaq has been the same person he's always been. You know, the buck dancing, you know, the jiggling and shaking and cooning around. That's Shaq. He's always been the fun, lovable guy. Now, if it's about who's the better basketball player, JaVale McGee or Shaq, JaVale McGee, you know, that's basically it. Oh, in case you want to hear Kevin Durant, here he is.
With him now is that he's a dumb player, or because he makes mistakes out on the court. Shaq was a shitty free throw shooter. He missed dunks. He airball free throws. He can't shoot. He couldn't shoot outside the paint. He's bigger than everybody. He didn't have any skill, but he was bigger and stronger than everybody. For you to call him a bum and all this just because you're such a great player, obviously, but still everybody can't beat Shaq. And I understand that Shaq works for a company that wants him to do that type of stuff and make fun of players, and it's cool and funny, but when you just keep doing it time and time and time again for no reason, and then a guy actually disagrees with you and you threaten him, I ain't no cops that could threaten civilians like that. Misperception of
So well, that was Durant's take on it. I'm quite sure you've seen it by now. If not, I hope I enlighten you. But my whole take is this: it's just silly because now it's like one fool ruining it for everybody else. These are the fools that ruin it for everybody else. The LeBrons, the D Wades, the Shaqs. These are the type of people that ruin it for everybody else. Because they're on the ones they're on the watch list. They stuff is going to hit TMZ, the Huffington Post. So when you see these guys taking stances for things that are not their business, for Shaq, at least he's a commentator. The other two are active players, and they talk about players from other teams in their situation. It's like, why are you concerned about that? It doesn't concern you or Dwayne Wade. If the Knicks got a problem with their team or Carmelo Anthony, that shouldn't even have nothing to do with Dwayne Wade or LeBron James. I don't care if he's your friend or not. Your concern is your team. That is your first concern, especially NBA-wise. It's too much fraternizing going on around here. And now that Shaq is, doing what he's doing, I want to see how they change the show around. But if you're going to do Shaq and a fool, you need some diversity to it. Leave JaVale McGee alone unless he really makes the list. We do not need to see a whole old clips of JaVale McGee. That's all I got to say about that.